I was motor. Hey, are you gonna come to the gym with us?
Yeah.
Alright, bet.
Alright guys, good afternoon everyone. My name is Kevin Gonzalez, and today I'm gonna be presenting an informative speech about nicotine. And how many of you guys are familiar with nicotine? Okay. How many of you guys have friends that do nicotine products? Okay. There's no shame in that, by the way, because one of my best friends vapes, smokes, and even though I tried to tell him that it's very unhealthy for him, he still continues to do it. But it's okay, because one day he'll stop. I'll assure of that. Okay? Okay, but today I'm going to be covering what nicotine is, how nicotine works, the health effects of nicotine, how bad the addiction is, and how it affects the youth, and how it's possible to quit. And it's not possible. Okay. So what exactly is nicotine? According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which is a public health agency that conducts research and provides evidence-based health information, nicotine is a natural chemical compound that is known as an alkaloid. And is primarily found in the leaves of the tobacco plants. Alkaloids are a broad class of natural occurring chemical compounds that contain at least one nitrogen atom. Nicotine is found in tobacco products such as cigarettes, cigars, chewing tobacco, and electronic cigarettes. And then nicotine naturally occurs in plants such as potatoes, eggplants, and tomatoes. But the amounts of nicotine are too small to do anything significant. And then when nicotine is in its purest form, it appears in a pale to yellow liquid, as in this photo, and has been served as a tobacco product for centuries. So how does nicotine work? The National Institute on Drug Abuse, which is a research institute that studies drug use and addiction, states that nicotine enters the bloodstream quickly after it's inhaled, chewed, or absorbed through the mouth. And it reaches the brain in little as to 10 to 20 seconds. And when it reaches the brain, the nicotine binds with receptors called nicotinic alkaline receptors. This stimulates the release of several transmitters, including dopamine. And with these rapid effects on the brain, is what makes nicotine a powerful substance that can easily influence the body's nervous system. Okay. Now I'm going to go over the health effects of nicotine. A review published in the New England Journal of Medicine, one of the most credible journals that publishes research reviewed by medical experts, states that nicotine stimulates the release of hormones such as adrenaline, which increases the heart rate, blood pressure, and narrows blood vessels. Over time, these effects can place an additional stress on the cardiovascular system, which may increase the risk of developing heart disease. Also, nicotine contributes to inflammation, oxidative stress, and damage to the lining of blood. Nicotine also promotes the growth of abnormal cells in the immune system, which prevents the body's ability to heal itself. These changes increase the likelihood of long-term affection on cardiovascular complications. Addiction. Research publishing in Nature Reviews, which is a peer-reviewed scientific journal that reviews neuroscience research, explains that when nicotine enters the brain, it creates pleasurable experiences, which makes the brain encourage the behavior, being knowledge. And nicotine is considered one of the most addictive substances because it activates the brain reward system, which makes the brain reinforce the activity, the use of nicotine. Continuous nicotine exposure makes the brain begin to adapt by requiring more nicotine to produce the same effects as it used to. And this is also called building tolerance. Long-term nicotine use changes the structure and function of neural pathways involved in reward, learning, and motivation. These changes make quitting difficult because the brain becomes conditioned to expect nicotine, leading to cravings and dependence even when the person has decided to quit. Now I'm going to go over withdrawal symptoms. The Journal of the American Medical Association, which is a peer-reviewed journal recognized for publishing evidence based on clinical research, reports that as nicotine leaves the body, the brain must adjust to functioning without the substance, which can lead to both physical and psychological symptoms. Common symptoms include strong cravings, irritability, and anxiety, and difficult concentrating, restlessness, increased appetite, and even trouble with sleeping. Although the symptoms can make quitting challenging, they are temporary and improve as the brain and body adapt to the absence of nicotine. Also, withdrawal symptoms are often strongest during the first few days after quitting, will gradually decrease after weeks. Now I'm gonna talk about nicotine's toll on young people now. The U.S. Surgeon General's report on electronic cigarette use among youth and young adults, which is an evidence-based report that summarized findings from 100 studies conducted by public health experts. It discusses how the adolescent's brain continues developing well into the mid-20s, making it vulnerable to the effects of nicotine. And nicotine can interfere with normal development of the brain circuits responsible for attention, learning, memory, and decision making, as well as impulse control. Also, the nicotine exposure during adolescence can alter brain development and increase the likelihood of developing long-term nicotine dependence. Also, people who become addicted to nicotine at such a young age have a greater risk of developing future substance use disorders. And before I go on, I want to talk about how sad it is that this 2-year-old is like smoking already at such a young age. I'm pretty sure it was this clip right here went viral a couple years back because he went famous for being known for being a 2-year-old smoking 40 cigarettes a day. Yeah. And then this photo right here, this is just like the common consensual of like how nicotine is normalized in our society. Because I'm pretty sure you guys have been to high school bathrooms and seen people smoking, passing around, huffing and puffing, and yeah, so normalized in this society. Also, like algorithms like Instagram and Facebook give nicotine advertisement so like it's so normalized on algorithms like Instagram and Facebook. Like Instagram is aware that majority of their users are people younger than the age of 18, and yet let advertisements like these be on the websites. And that's what these nicotine products are looking for. They're looking for lifelong customers. So their audience is people younger than like 18. So that way they can get them hooked on for the rest of their life. Yeah. Is quitting nicotine possible? And my answer to that question is it is possible. I don't think it's impossible. It's for sure possible. And according to the U.S. Public Health Service Clinical Practice Guideline, which is one of the most evidence-based guidelines developed by a panel of leading medical researchers, quitting nicotine is one of the most important steps a person can take to improve their overall health. Quitting can be difficult because of cravings and withdrawal symptoms, but combining behavioral counseling with approved medications significantly increases the chances of quitting nicotine and long-term success. Although many people require many attempts before finally quitting nicotine, research shows that each attempt is a vulnerable step toward to being nicotine free. And nicotine replaced therapies such as nicotine gum, patches, lozenges, and inhalers and nasal sprays can safely reduce withdrawal symptoms and nearly double the chance of successfully quitting nicotine compared to quitting without any help. Interesting facts. According to the Human Reproduction Update, which is a peer review in reproductive medicine and fertility research, nicotine may have effects beyond addiction by negatively influencing male reproductive health. Numerous studies have found that nicotine has been associated with sperm count, decreased sperm mobility, which is the sperm's ability to swim. So basically, before you start smoking or doing any nicotine products, your sperm swimmers are like Mike Phillips, and then once you start doing them, they become more like me as a swimmer, because I'm not really that good at swimming, so yeah. And review also suggests that nicotine can increase oxidative stress, which may damage sperm cells and interfere with normal reproductive function. So yeah, basically lowers your chances of being able to reproduce a little version of you. So yeah, I'd like that for people to know that if their partner is trying to reproduce, they should let them know that they're not succeeding because they are doing nicotine. So yeah. And with that, that summarizes the end of my speech. So I want to thank each one of you guys for coming and hearing me present the speech.
Thank you.